all of our productions. And I use, the music is always in front of me for this. And it's constant starting and stopping because the stage director's in charge. And he'll say, no, you've got to move left. No, you've got to move right. No, and you've got to get between that crack right there. And it's like, so it just goes on and on and on. But, so when I was preparing for this concert, thinking about doing that, agreeing to do it, I told Jim that I haven't done a piano solo recital in literally decades. So that's, you will notice I'm using music tonight. And I'm happy that the music is Now we're going to one of the great masters of all time, Beethoven. And he wrote the piano sonata in his middle period. It's about in 1804 this sonata was published. Beethoven was born in the 1780s and died in 1830s or something, 1840s. And this was the first of his 32 sonatas that it's right in the middle of his sonatas, and he starts getting a little bit romantic. Beethoven comes out of the classical tradition. He comes out of Mozart, out of Haydn. In fact, he studied with Haydn. He wanted to study with Mozart, but he moved to Vienna 1 year after Mozart died. And if you think back in those days, it took so long to hear about things from country to country. So he really didn't know. And he just missed Mozart by a year, but he studied with Haydn. So that was the classical tradition. But Beethoven moved us into the Romantic era, which I'll get to later with some of the Rachmaninoff. But this sonata, I'm not going to be playing the entire sonata. We'd be here until about midnight. Not really, but I'm just going to play part of the first movement, and it'll give you a very good idea of where Beethoven was heading at the time. Also, a lot of you may know that Beethoven became deaf. He actually started going deaf when he was 20 years old. And by the time he wrote his great Ninth Symphony, which we wonderfully, from wonderful Dolores. Where are you, Dolores? Dolores, thank you so much for playing that. That was beautiful. We heard that from Joyful, Joyful, Be Adored, that is from Beethoven's Ninth. But he wrote that. He was completely deaf. He couldn't hear a thing. He just knew. He was just such a genius. He knew how to write. He really did know how to write music. So, with no further chatting from me, let me play part of the Waldstein Sonata. It's called the Waldstein because Beethoven dedicated this sonata to one of his patrons, Count Waldstein.